Hey, Grace family, I'm Pastor Luke, and welcome to our series on Matthew. We are going through the Gospel of Matthew, and this week we started with Matthew chapter 1. I want to encourage you to read with us throughout the week. So this week, Matthew 1, take some time, read it again, spend a little time in it, ask God to speak to you through the Word. We've given some questions for you to explore on this card, and all of the information will be in the comments here as well. I want to encourage you, sit with it, explore it, ask God to speak to you through His Word, have a conversation with your family or a friend or somebody close to you. And then I want to encourage you also, look for ways to put things into practice. What is God teaching me here that I can now put into practice in my life? And so Matthew chapter 1 is short. It's interesting. It starts with the genealogy, 42 generations leading up to Jesus's birth. And then it tells the story of Jesus's birth through the perspective of Joseph. And so one of the things we talked about on Sunday is how Jesus was a promised child. And from the very beginning of scriptures, even in Genesis 3, it's pointing to the coming Messiah. And we see different times throughout scriptures that are pointing to the birth of Jesus through Abraham, through David, and through the prophets. And specifically Isaiah chapter 9, we can read the prophetic word there about the Messiah who is to come. That's Jesus. He's the promised child. And then we took some time in Genesis 22 as we looked at Abraham and his promised child and how God used them in their relationship as a prophetic picture of why Jesus would come. And you'll see that when you use Jesus and his ministry and his life and purpose as the answer key to the story of Abraham and Isaac there in Genesis 22, we'll see that Jesus is the Lamb who comes in our place to face the death that we should face and the punishment for sin. And Jesus is the one who rescues us from our sin. And that's a promise that's found in Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. The angel tells Joseph to give him the name Jesus because Jesus will rescue his people from their sins. And so that is a very sure promise that we can have in Jesus, that he will rescue us from our sins. And so I want to encourage you to give your life to Jesus, follow him with all your heart. Don't just try to add Jesus into your life, but I encourage you, give all of your life to Jesus. We are called to live a new life for him. And so that's where real life transformation really comes. And you will find that you will really experience the abundant life that God has for you. God bless you. Take some time with Matthew chapter 1 this week. Love you, and look forward to continuing next Sunday with Matthew chapter 2. Bye.